Hello, this is Vivica Williams, and you're watching Head to Head. Sometimes, to be able to produce a masterpiece, creative people need some additional support from society. And the SWAP UK-Ukraine Resident Program provides just that. For several years now, the British Council in Ukraine and Liverpool Biennial have been joining efforts with the most promising artistic venues in Ukraine and the UK to provide time and support for artists and curators from both countries. To talk more about the program, we welcome to the studio today Illya Zabolotniy, Arts Manager at British Council Ukraine.
Hello.
Thank you so much for being with us, Illya.
It's a pleasure.
So tell us a bit about this program. When did it start?
Well, actually, our program started in 2016. It's our annual artist and curatorial residency program, which we run with Liverpool Biennial and with a number of the most experimental and innovative organizations in Ukraine. And it's quite an adventure for us and for all participants, because up to date we had 20 residents. So it's 18 artists and 2 curators.
And so are these all from Ukraine, or what's the mix between Ukrainians going to the UK and British citizens coming to Ukraine?
Well, it's actually 50-50. So it's actually an exchange program. So UK artists, they discover vast and interesting cultural traditions of Ukraine, and vice versa. Ukrainians, they open unbelievable and new pages, new visions of UK.
Oh, wow. And so this is now starting the 3rd year. And what's the process at this point? Have you already selected the people who will be in the program, or is it still an open process?
Well, essential part of our program is that we do everything through the open calls. So all artists, all curators who want to participate, they just apply with very simple instructions. And our actually deadline is 15th of July. And then we have a selection panel, which consists from Ukrainian side and from UK side. And we are going through quite a challenging process to select artists and curators, because
there must be a lot of really good ones.
Yeah, it's always a challenging process, because it's not really an objective process. You always, it's hard to define who is good artist and who is bad artist, because you actually can't answer that question. But we just aim to find that curators and that artists that we feel that our residency program will be a springboard for their practice. So we don't look for artists for whom it will be 23rd residence, and for whom it will be like a usual routine, but we try to find that, diamonds, little diamonds, for which it will be like a real springboard.
Oh, wow. And so now in this year, how many are you looking at selecting?
Well, this year we are looking for 3 Ukrainian artists and 1 curator who will undertake 45 days residency in Liverpool, and 6 UK artists who will do their residencies across the Ukraine in our partners organizations. And these organizations are actually situated in Kyiv, Odessa, Lviv and Kharkiv. So we cover almost all regions of Ukraine.
And tell us a bit about what it entails. Do they attend workshops, or are they given, what kind of support are they given while they work?
Well, we think that the most important and the most valuable part of our program is that we create a sustainable connection. Because when artists is actually for 45 days is living day by day and exploring new, absolutely new cultural context, it's always a very powerful source for his inspiration and for discovery of something new. And that is actually the core why we run residencies, because we think that actually visual arts and arts in general can change us. It actually ideally shows what are common values of UK people and Ukrainian people, what are differences, and what connections could be made, how we can enrich each other.
Wow. And on another side, what about language issues? I know that can be a barrier at some times. And how do you deal with that?
Well, we actually we treat English as a working language, so all Ukrainian artists who apply, they need to know English level at least on basic level, so they, you know, as each day routine operations won't be a disaster for them, and vice versa. Actually, we had a fear during first year that it will be hard for UK artists to be in different parts of Ukraine, not in the capital.
Right.
But actually, youth of Ukraine knows English.
So they work a lot when let's say a UK artist comes and they're in Kharkiv or Kyiv. What are they looking at as a day-to-day experience?
Well, each artist apply and they specify to what institutions they want to go in what city, and each institution has its own profile. For example, in Kharkiv we have Yermilov Center and Municipal Gallery. Municipal Gallery runs performance night, so we actually are looking for performance artists who will perform live during the night in Kharkiv, while Yermilov Center they are more interested in artists that can work with local communities, who can work with public art sphere, and actually we really rely on very professional curators from these institutions, which actually supervise and help us to deliver these residencies on high level.
Oh, wow. And so now this will be the third year. And
yes.
What have you seen in the results in the last 2 years? What are some of the artists that have really blossomed because of this program?
Well, I would say it's actually a very interesting question, because for a lot of artists, our residency became a groundbreaking step. For example, like very small example, our last year's resident from Yermilov Center, Kunhmashon, after being in our residency, she was selected for a public art project in London, and she actually created an installation which is opened now, and during the opening, Prince Charles came, and so we actually have a very direct connection with Prince after this opening.
Wow. And how many, I'm sure at this time it's gotten more publicity, people know more about this program, they see artists that have gone through. So how has the application process changed? How have, are there a lot more applications, and is it becoming, I would imagine, a more difficult process?
Well, actually, during first year we had like almost 100 applications, strong applications, which made it up to, I would say, 5 people on one place competition, which is quite also challenging for us.
Absolutely.
And next year, last year we had almost 250. This year I'm a bit in fear what we'll have, because it might be like a 24 hours process for me to pre-select everything. Wow. And then have proper 2 days speaking with our board to select this lucky 10.
Wow. So are you looking at expanding the program? Are there other institutions that may be interested in cooperating that we could see more artists be able to participate?
Well, I would say that our program actually triggered local residency program. For example, in Yermilov Center, after first year of our collaboration, they actually started a local residency program for Ukrainian artists. Due to the budget, of course, they can't invite international artists, but we think it's a major plus of our initiative. As well as in Kyiv, for example, Illya Foundation for Cultural Initiatives, they also started to run their international residency program. So we actually trigger this process, and we think we are lucky that local organizations, they continue our ideas and develop them in their way.
Oh, wow, this is really great to see, because that's what you want to see, some sustainability, and not just your program, but you see this idea spread and people embrace and see that it's a possibility to be able to work with international artists, to travel abroad. So what is the future looking like for the program? What would you like to see it develop in, and what are the real prospects?
Well, I would like to see that actually more and more local organizations actually add up to our program or develop something similar. So more and more regional cities are covered, because usually what we had from history of Ukraine is that all such initiatives, they ended up in a capital. Right. So everything stayed in Kyiv, which we now really like to spread out. So I think it's very good. Also, it's essential that after each iteration of residency residency program, we have a final exhibition, which is also something that is mind discovering for local audience. First year final exhibition was in Kiev, and last year's was in Kharkiv. And we actually had a huge number of audience, because Kharkiv is, I think, is the first one city by population of students.
Oh, wow.
So number of students is huge there.
Well, hopefully now we hope to see, with Ukraine being more open, more avenues for travel, that it's going to make it easier for people to be able to participate, as well as people to come to these galleries and see the work.
Yeah, and we also, as of course, beside of our residency, we treat that our artists who came through the program are now Ukrainian agents. Because in each conversations with their peers, with their tutors, with other artists during any biennial in this world, they are very positive agents of Ukraine.
That's the best way to spread. Thank you so much, Illya, for being with us and for telling us about this amazing program.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
And that was Illya Zabolotniy, Arts Manager at British Council Ukraine. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned to UATV for more great programming.